Anyway, it is that time on a Tuesday afternoon when David Kavanagh walks into the room and we talk all things relationships and sexual health and all that kind of stuff. And this week, Dave, you're very welcome. We got an email which I thought I would put to you, also from somebody called David. But anyway, it says, "Hi Ciara and Dave, I hope you can help me. I'm 31-year-old guy. I have a good job and my female friends tell me I'm pretty good looking, so I guess that's a good thing. I have been single for 3 years and I had my heart broken a few years ago, and while I've no problem meeting girls on Tinder, etc. for dates, I still haven't met anybody special. About 3 months ago, I met a girl in Australia. Actually, it's 4 years ago, in fact, as I was dating her best friend who reached out to me on Facebook. Since then, she texts me almost every day and rings me and constantly sends me photos of herself on WhatsApp and tells me all her news, sometimes at crazy hours of the morning due to the time differences. The thing is, she's beautiful, she's funny, she's intelligent, and on paper she is my perfect girlfriend. What makes this whole thing weird is she's not coming back to Ireland for another 5 months. I'm very, very confused. What if we meet up and there's no chemistry? What if she meets someone else in the meantime? What if I do? I don't want to hurt her. I love hearing from her and I miss her when I don't hear from her on a daily basis, which is ridiculous because we're not even in a relationship. Any advice will be greatly appreciated. I sometimes find it hard to chat to girls who I meet when I go to pubs or clubs, but I've no issue online. I'm at a loss now." Take it away, David.
Oh God, it's a tough one, isn't it? It sounds like a little bit of infatuation going on there, which is completely understandable. I guess, you know, the research kind of has proven that it's down to when people meet in person. You can't predict compatibility, and you can't predict how much you're going to get on with somebody based on the paper idea. Like, so, you know, everything looks great on paper. She's very witty, very charming, very kind. Whatever those projections are that you have about somebody, it's when you actually meet the person it gets really tricky, because in the space of about 30 seconds you can tell if there's chemistry or not. So I can understand this chap's predicament. If he's waiting around now for another 5 months and this young lady comes back from Australia and then he meets her and either of them realises this has been a complete and utter waste of time, it's very, very tricky. Like, what do you do? Like,
I feel a little differently about this. I don't think this is necessarily infatuation. They're chatting. They've got a connection.
Yes.
He finds her, he describes her, what does he say? She's funny, intelligent and all this. Like, so obviously they're sending each other little bits and pieces and they're keeping each other engaged in that manner. So they have a kind of a relationship, even though they haven't taken it to the next level. And he likes the look of her because he's seen pictures.
But
and he finds it hard to mate. No,
if he's never met her, like he's only met her once,
yeah,
is it really a relationship?
Loads of people meet online now. Is that not the kind of the way? And
so should he be faithful then? Should he maybe not?
I didn't say he should, but it doesn't sound like he's doing that well with the girls in the first place. Really. He's been single for years. He finds it hard to chat to people in pubs. I'd say, hold on tight, love. This might be all you have available to you. I don't know, but look, it seems to me he has a connection with somebody. Yes. I realise that it's through text and online and on the phone and she's far away. But it sounds to me like it's building towards something. And it doesn't sound to me like he's, got a plan B that's so super, super awesome for him here.
Yeah, I mean, it could be building towards something wonderful and amazing when she comes back at Christmas. It could be, it could be exactly what he's hoping for. We just don't know. And
nobody, it sounds like here on this email, has asked the other person to stay faithful or be monogamous in this non-existent relationship.
Right.
So like, I presume if he wants to go on dates in the meantime, he can, and he doesn't know whether she is either. But they're obviously developing some kind of at least friendship.
Yep.
Why not meet her in whatever 5 months is?
I think at this point he has to, and I guess the good thing is it's not a catfish, because he has met the person already, which I just picked up from the email there. So he does know that she is who she says she is. She's not some man pretending to be her. So that's always a good thing.
Just explain catfish. I know what it is, but explain to our listeners.
A catfish is where you're in contact with somebody you think is somebody completely different than the person it really is. Sometimes it's men pretending to be women and women pretending to be men, and there's a whole MTV program about it, and it's fascinating, and it's awfully scary what happens in
People
the online
use
world.
Other somebody once contacted me and said that they were very sorry and they hoped that I wasn't going to take legal action, which I wasn't.
Okay.
But they had been using my photograph on their whatevers, and
it worked?
I don't know. I didn't engage at all. I was just like, oh my goodness, that's
cringe.
You'd think he could have picked a better photo,
that's
to be
terrible.
honest. But anyway, somebody else says, this lad is overthinking things completely. She could be up to all sorts of Oz, and why not? I think that too. Don't think about it at all. See how it goes. And the other person says, the girl in Australia is lining him up for her return. Keep playing it the way he is and wait for her to come back unless he meets someone better in the meantime. Someone else says, 5 months is nothing, kid. Keep her warm. She sounds great. I agree with all these people. Someone else says, why doesn't this guy just enjoy himself and see how it goes when she comes home? this doesn't seem to me to be like much of a problem. He's got this girl. He's really enjoying the chats. See how it plays out.
As long as he can handle it, because I mean, it could be the case that his head is a little bit melted from the fact that he doesn't see her. Does he know that he's free to meet other women, or is he still kind of holding on in some shape or form? Does he feel like he's going to be cheating on her if he meets somebody because they're in contact all the time?
Does that not say something? Right, about how they do have a connection, that if he meets somebody and feels like he's cheating,
Possibly.
that's because he really does have a connection to this woman in Australia.
So you're saying it's completely possible?
Well, to me, the biggest erogenous zone in the body remains the brain. So it is a rarity that you have that meeting of minds with somebody where you kind of go click, and you feel it.
And if you can talk for hours to somebody, I think that's an amazing thing, as opposed to just pure physical chemistry.
Someone else says, why is he not out and about looking for other women? He has her on a pedestal, like remembering a holiday romance in a rose-tinted way. Well, that's in the rear view mirror, the holiday romance. This is the
future. This is a future.
He's driving along towards
relationships.
This one. This is, and I do think that there is an issue around that 5 months is not very long.
Not in a lifetime, it's not really, when you think about it.
But also, I just keep coming back to the fact that he's been single for ages. He finds it hard to talk to women. And, online is he sort of says he's better online than in real life.
Yeah.
So maybe he shouldn't meet anyone in real life and just keep meeting people online and just
live in cyber world.
Just stay with that. I don't know. Young people.
There's a huge problem in Asia at the moment where young men and young women are refusing to date in person. They're doing all their dating, if at all, online, and they rarely, if ever, actually meet up in person.
Oh, that's weird.
It's terrible.
Someone else has texted and said, Ciara, I met and I continued a long distance relationship to and from France for a year. I then bit the bullet and he moved to Ireland 12 years ago. We're 8 years married, 2 kids, 2 dogs and a cat later. Jump and see what happens. And that's from Grania and go, you see, I really
amazing,
like that.
It?
Yes, it is. But you see, I think what's happened to the young people is they have so much choice, right? That he's met and connected with somebody. Some people used to go off to war and write love letters every day for 4 years and come back and live happily ever after. But now we're like, oh no, I don't want to commit to the girl in Australia because the girl in Balbriggan might be,
we have a kind of
a bird in the hand.
It's the grass is always greener type thing, that there's so much choice out there that people are unable to select an individual because they think that there's many more other people better than who I've chosen. Do you think that goes on in people's minds?
Yeah, but at some stage you have to realise that maybe you're not such a prize catch either. Maybe
I think I realised that a long time
I think
ago.
we just all need to settle. Is that not what life is about? I don't know, but I suppose
hang in there, you're saying to him.
What do you think he should do?
Well, I think it's important that he lives in the moment, and if he enjoys the woman's company now, he does so. But that, as I said, if he meets her in 5 months' time, he could discover that there's been no chemistry, or there is no chemistry whatsoever in person. But at least if he's aware of that going forward,
why would there be none in person when he likes her personality and he fancies her picture?
But this like researchers have proven this, that you can be in contact with somebody for a long time and then you meet them and just something clicks and it just doesn't work, or sorry, something doesn't click and it doesn't work, and we still don't know what that thing is. The pupils don't dilate, whatever.
Someone has texted and said, what does David think of long distance relationships in general? My boyfriend's about to move away. What should I do?
I've worked with many couples who are in long-term and long-distance relationships, and thanks to technology, people have the ability to make a lot of relationships work now than much easier, I should say, than 20 or 30 years ago. And if you put in the effort, you put the work in. I mean, some people have called each other literally every day or Skyped every day, but that doesn't work for everybody. It's some people it's like every couple of days is fine. But look, it depends on the will, I think, and the goodwill that you have for your partner, and how well do you communicate.
I was about to say, it depends on your feeling. If you are madly in love with somebody,
you make anything work at that point, sure.
Yes, exactly. If you really feel, because let's be honest, people are not just 10 a penny interchangeable to people that you're going to fall in love with. They're few and far between, and if they do move away, I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. I often think I'm a bit like a Labrador. I think if you've imprinted on somebody, maybe you should go with that. But anyway, look, my thanks. I don't know what. I'm not saying you can't see anybody else, but you know what? I wouldn't not meet the girl from Oz either, because that sounds like a stupid thing to do considering all the time he spent. We will, of course, talk to David next Tuesday at the same time, and he will have more top advice for us on how we, between us, can solve all your relationships and sexual problems.